The purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. How do I know this? I don't, but I'm making sound, and that's the important thing. That's what I'm here to do. Sometimes I think that's the only thing that's important, really, you know? It's just letting each other know we're here, reminding each other that we're part of a larger self. I used to think Jim Carrey is all that I was, just a flickering light.
Having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things, and they're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
We are babysat by the television. We're taught how to think by the television. That's the dangerous thing about what's going on right now. There are generations growing up right now who are learning to lie, that lying is okay, that you're supposed to hate half the country.
Anything that doesn't work out, any show that I might not get, any show that I might do that doesn't turn out well and gets pulled off or something like that, I always think of as this is the way it was supposed to be. That's the way it was supposed to happen, because there's something bigger down the road. There's something better down the road, and this is happening because I'm not ready, you know, and it's always happened that way.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. And just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
You know, and if anything, we've got to get back to a place where we realize that a vote is not who you are, you know? And because you voted Republican, you're not stupid, you're not different, you're not worthless. You know, I could break bread with anybody who voted for Trump. We could find some common ground to love each other through.
And I didn't go back for 2 years. And then my father said when I was 17, I started doing little shows here and there again. And he said, why don't you go back to Yuck Yucks? I said, no way, I don't want to go back there. And he said, well, you really, you know, you should get over it. I mean, if you're going to go into the business and you want to do it seriously, you can't have those barriers.
It's not the only thing he taught me, though. You know, I watched the effect of my father's love and humor and how it altered the world around me. And I thought, that's something to do. That's something worth my time.
You know, and I went back and I did great, and I became a regular and a headliner, and it built from there. And then when I went down to Los Angeles, the same thing happened. I went to the Comedy Store. I did all right, but not good enough to become a regular, and I became totally discouraged with the Comedy Store. I came back to Toronto like everybody who doesn't do well down there comes back going, oh, I hate Los Angeles.